All right, it's November 8th, 2024. I have Brittany Green with me of Happy Cleaning Atlanta, and we're going to do a shorter version of an SEO audit we did for Go Cleaning in the UK, which was 2 hours long. It was way too much for a lot of people to sit through. So we're going to do a bit more of a lightning round. We're going to go rapid fire with this, and I'm going to start with Brittany. Tell me a little bit about your business.
Happy Clean Atlanta, we clearly service all of Metro Atlanta. We service like Gwinnett County, Cobb County, DeKalb County, Henry, Fulton, like all of the big counties that surround the city of Atlanta. We do service both residential and commercial clients. So we do recurring cleaning services, deep cleaning, move in and moving out, office, apartment turnovers, like big contracts for like rough to final cleans for construction companies. That's pretty much it.
That's good. And how long have you been in business?
About 5 years now, started in 2019.
Okay. And it shows. I sent you a message a couple of days ago about the fact that I saw that you had a decent tech stack. You had some automations in there. You have some things that, if you were to look at the average house cleaning business or other home services business, you definitely did your homework. You put some real effort and research into creating a more advanced, more modern journey that customers go through the buying journey. And I commended you for that because there's a lot of business owners that just think, hey, I understand cleaning, I can just start a business, and they don't really put the investment into modernizing the business and being competitive against some of the big brands out there, like the Molly Maids and the Mary Maids. And you've certainly moved in that direction, which is the signs of a true entrepreneur, somebody that's really committed to being a dominating force in their market. So let's go into. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to start with just showing the Google Business Profile, the knowledge panel right here. That's what this is called, the knowledge panel. And you're
Okay.
listed as a service area business, which means you have a hidden street address. Just right off the bat, from an SEO standpoint, I try to move all of my house cleaning clients and pest control and HVAC and anybody that, goes out to homes, try to get a published street address because it has a big impact on SEO.
Mhm.
Google just reward. It's unfortunate because Google wants home service businesses to be listed as a shaded region like this, and then brick and mortar, where you have a physical street address where customers come to you, they want you to have that street address with the red pin, right? The problem is that all things being equal, the businesses with a red pin rank much higher.
Okay.
And so there's strategies associated with that. Sometimes people operate out of their home and they're afraid to list their home address, but then you have to ask yourself, do you want a lot more money?
Right.
So it's kind of like a trade-off. We'll strategize later on winning the proximity war. But that's a major factor. So if you look at a lot of my clients, you'll see that they've all moved to published street addresses.
Okay.
Okay. You have a great number of reviews, but one of the things that could be improved I'm going to sort by newest, you have a number of reviews that don't have replies to them.
Oh.
Positive and negative reviews, except for ones that violate Google's terms of service, which could be a former or current employee or representative of the business is not allowed to leave reviews, fake reviews by a competitor or something like that, profanity, threats of violence, things like that. There's a whole list basically, but you don't want to respond to those. A lot of people, like if it's somebody that never had a cleaning, you can't look them up in your books. You're inclined to say, hey, this is not a customer of mine, especially if it was a one-star review. You actually don't want to do that because it adds credibility. It's better to file, report the review, but don't actually reply to those. But everything else, you definitely positive and negative, you want to respond and respond quickly because you're scored on that. Okay. And when you do reply, reply with meat on it, not hey, thanks for the 5 stars, but hey, thank you. We love serving our clients in like maybe the name of the neighborhood that they're in because that location relevance is actually helpful. Speak to obviously what they talked about if they actually left a comment, and get your business name in there. in the exact format as it is in the Google Business Profile, which in this case is Happy Clean Atlanta. So a lot of times, instead of sounding like you're repetitive and saying, "Hey, thanks for choosing Happy Cleaning Atlanta" for every reply, you could do the Happy Clean Atlanta team or something like that, like signed by, that kind of thing. Um, but definitely reply to those. But this is fantastic. Are you using any kind of automation right now as far as sending out texts and emails? How are you getting the
My
reviews?
scheduling software is doing it for me, which is connected to like SMS, like Zapier thing, Um,
Okay. And what scheduling software are you using?
Booking Koala. Mhm.
Okay. All right. So
Daily.
we'll talk offline about that because there are some compliance issues with the Federal Trade Commission and Google. But that's a longer conversation. So it's just that they're a scheduling software that added that feature, but they are not experts in reputation management.
Nope, they are not.
Yeah,
So
so ZenMaid, for example, added that automation, but it's also not compliant. Okay, so it's just a problem that we're running into. So I just want to protect your business from getting your Google Business Profile suspended. Fines by the FTC could be as high as $5,000 to $10,000 per customer. So this is an issue with Booking Koala. So we'll address that offline.
okay.
Um, what else? Okay, so this is great. So many businesses don't do this, the post here, and you're actually doing it. So you're getting scored for the activity. I'd recommend not going too heavy on it. I'd recommend doing 2 a week. If you do
Okay.
too many, it can kind of backfire. Google could look at it as just over manipulation. But one thing you do definitely want to do is always use the learn more button.
Mm,
Okay, you could use book if it links to the booking page, but really what you want to do is link content to relevant content. So if you're specifically doing a post about deep cleaning, then link to the deep cleaning page, right? Move out cleaning, link to the move out cleaning page, right? And then if it's just a generic, you can always link to the home page as well, but you want to have what's called link distribution. You don't want to always link everything to the home page, okay? So if it's relevant content, it makes sense to line it up with the content that's associated on your page. And you can also create links to your social media and create associations that way. So you can take someone's review and put it there as a post and say, "Hey, thanks for this wonderful review," and then link to a social media page like Facebook or Instagram. Okay, but always use Learn More. Some of these actually don't even have a link. So the reason being is because no one buys from here. No one goes down here. I challenge any company to tell me that they're actually getting money off of posts that are here. But this is a Google property and it's huge to link from here to your assets. Does that make
mhm.
sense?
Yep.
Okay. Your description, you have up to 750 characters. So this could be fleshed out a bit more. I have a guide and I'll send that to you offline on how to write like a really optimal description. So we have that. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, categories. So we'll go here. I have a little plugin that'll tell me. So you've got house cleaning service and well, service establishment is one that Google automatically does. And then you have janitorial service. They just got rid of commercial cleaning service, literally
Mm,
like a few weeks ago. They got rid of that as a category.
mhm,
But if there are other services that you are doing, they have now cleaning service. So you can add cleaning service as a secondary as well. Um, and we could talk about that, but you want to always make sure that your primary is the service that you do the most. So you're mostly residential versus commercial.
I'm like 90% residential.
Okay, so then that's the proper primary category, but you want to also make sure if there's any secondary categories. Google adds and removes over time every month, and it's important to stay on top of it. So I'll work offline with that to make sure that you have every proper category. Um, I think that's it for the Google Business Profile Optimization. One of the biggest moves you can make is have a published street address. So we'll talk about how to optimize for that based on where you're located. Sometimes a company will get like a really cheap 300 square foot office close to the city center. Might not be in the best area, but no one goes there anyway. It's
Mhm,
just a beacon for SEO. Um, so let's talk about one of the other problems with being a service area business instead of a published street address is citations. So citations come in many forms, but the most popular form of citations are your online business directories. That's your Yellow Pages, City Pages, Super Pages, Dexnos, Foursquare, Better Business Bureau, maybe a local chamber of commerce. You've got your industry specific ones. So for automotive, you'd have cars.com, Dealer Rater, Car Gurus. For house cleaning, you would have House, Angie, Home Advisor, that kind of stuff, right? So the problem with being a service area business is that you don't qualify for getting on a lot of those directories. You can get on some of them, but they require a published street address, and often it has to be listed in the knowledge panel in the Google Business Profile. Okay. So what's happening here is when I look at your citation list, you have 11 live citations, but then your competitors have a lot more. And
Mm,
you're measured on proximity, prominence, and relevance. Proximity is how close you are to the service, the customer that's looking for your services. Obviously, if someone's in your local area, it's the search results are not going to return house cleaning businesses from Chicago, right? So proximity matters, obviously, but then you also have prominence, which how much is in the eyes of the search engine, your brand to be trustworthy and credible. And the more citations you have, the more the search engines are like, okay, this is an established business because they have perfect NAP consistency, name, address, phone, address, street address, right? Name, address, phone on all of these directories. So if they're all over the interwebs, right, on all these directories, that sounds to me like a more established brand, right? So you're being weighed on that. It's one of the top 5 ranking factors. And so right now, your competitors that actually do have published street addresses, they're able to get on a lot more of these citations. Okay. And you can see a bunch of them down here. Okay. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. And then let's take a look at your what's so far right now, because it sounds like the majority of the customers that are coming in are from any kind of direct advertising you're doing, like pay-per-click through AdWords or Facebook, or LSA, local service ads, which is the pay-per-lead model through Google, or word of mouth, or maybe any kind of direct selling you're doing if you're making phone calls, maybe more towards commercial, or any kind of door knockers or signs or anything like that. Is that correct? You're not getting much traffic from people saying they found you on Google?
Yeah, exactly that. Like I
Okay,
don't.
well, the reason why is because you can see this right here, and all my audits are going to show these geogrids. Now, what happens is when you're doing house cleaning service in Atlanta, you have the search. This is the search engine results page, right? This whole thing, and it comes in different sections. So you got your LSA up here. You've got your, if there were paid ads, you'd see sponsored, you'd see pay-per-click ads in between these two sections, but there aren't any right now showing. Then you have your local 3-pack. This is where about 70% of organic traffic comes from. So it's about dominating in here. And then you have your boring wall of text where only about 15% of consumers shop. This is the organic section. Okay. A lot of SEO agencies focus on ranking you here because they can make reports look really good when they bumped you up from 400th place to 44th, but that will not make the phone ring anymore. Okay. Because if you're 44th, you might as well be 400 still, right? Mastering local SEO is about domination in here. And so what these reports specifically show is when someone is physically standing in each of these locations, where do you rank in maps, not in that boring wall of text below maps? This is the report that really matters. And you're not even registering, not even on the second page, because in maps, let me see, go back to maps here. It's not 3. If you click on more businesses, they're showing 20 on a page. And then if there's more, see it says 1 of 20, then it'll show 21 plus. But you're not even showing up on anywhere here. Go back to the map here. Where was I? Oh, right here. Okay. So you'll see you're showing up on the first page, but after that, you're not even showing up anywhere. It's like an ocean that has like no like long beach you could walk into. It's just like it drops off real quick, and then you can't feel the bottom. Like you just fell out, right? And that's for your primary word of house cleaning service. That's the main category. And if you click on here, you look, it's the same thing. You're averaging very low for all of these: commercial cleaning service, janitorial, maid service, near me, cleaning service Atlanta. It doesn't matter. You're just not showing up anywhere. Okay. And this is just what's happening is that the investment in growth of your business has been in other channels and not SEO. Okay. So this is the changes that I'm going to recommend for you that we're talking about here are going to radically improve this. And then all of a sudden you're going to start getting a flood of phone calls from people finding you naturally, which is going to cost so much less. Now, you could look at the top brands that are ranking very well. Your Molly Maid, your Sparkle, Molly, well, they have multiple locations, Molly Maid's everywhere, right? These are the ones that are showing up very well. Okay. And so, and then you can see what their secondary and primary categories are. So you can see, hey, are they using anything that now if you don't do these services, because some people do, house cleaning and handyman, then that doesn't apply. But you can
Mhm.
see often in here if there may be a category that, for example, carpet cleaning service. A lot of my house cleaning companies also do carpet cleaning. So if that's
Mhm.
if that's the case, then you would add that, right? So,
Mhm.
and carpet cleaning is more than just vacuuming. It's like that specialized equipment where they got the hoses running through the house and they're going to steam clean it and. Um, so anyway, this is just a visual representation. Now, some people would look at this and cry. I look at this and see dollar signs because this is opportunity. Like if you're a profitable business now, imagine what'll happen if this is all green, right?
Mhm.
So that gets me excited. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's look at the on page. Let's go to your website here. And stylization is really good. Like you have really good contrasting colors. Book now. The phone number is very easy to see. I would probably add a couple more calls to action throughout here, although you'd have one down here. Book online. So you're pretty good on that front. Um, the this is your booking page. So let's go to your home page actually. Because you link to your booking page from the Google Business Profile. Um, you need location pages. You need to inform the search engines where you actually provide your services. And then the primary location page that your Google Business Profile address resides in, that will be what you actually link to. You're gonna optimize for ranking your location pages. Like if you look at, Mary Maids here in Las Vegas, it looks like a homepage, but if you look carefully, this is their Las Vegas location page. It's not
Mhm.
their homepage. And their Google Business Profile links to this page,
Mhm.
okay? Because they're trying to rank locally, okay? And that's
Mhm.
why Mary Maids and Molly Maids does very well. It's one reason, but it we'll get into more reasons. So
Mhm.
services, this is good. You got residential, commercial broken out. COVID-19, is that a service specifically that you're providing?
Was at the time, like our statement on it, right?
It's
Was
your
COVID
statement on it. Okay, I would pull that off because it's not relevant
relevant?
service. It's not an actual service. Google's reading pages like a thesis paper. It's a HTML document. It's reading it like a document. So it's gonna you want to make it so that there's no confusion whatsoever. So if you have a services section, it's expecting everything in here to be various services.
Okay.
For residential services, it's okay to go two levels down like this. Um, let me see if I click on this. That doesn't take you to a page. Okay, so you got recurring cleaning, deep cleaning. You want to separate these two out. If you go
Mhm.
into Google Trends and you do any combination with hyphen, without hyphen, with slash, without slash, whatever, move in, move out cleaning, there's no traffic. If you
Okay.
search for people typing for move out cleaning or move in cleaning separately, there's a whole bunch of people searching that way because people are either moving out or they're moving in. So when they're searching for that kind of service, like when we bought our house in June, the previous house that we were renting, that was a requirement in the lease agreement that we had to have it professionally cleaned before we hand over the keys. Okay.
Mhm.
So I was looking for, well, I wasn't looking for because I didn't need to, but if I was needing a service, because we already have people that we know we're going to use, but if I was looking for a service, I would literally type move out cleaning because I'm moving out, right? So best to separate those two out. And then you've got your janitorial facility maintenance. Are you doing like changing light bulbs and air filters and other stuff like that?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. So and then you have office cleaning. So we'll talk about this because it may make sense to combine these two. These might be cannibalizing each other. Okay.
Okay.
And it may even make sense to just put services and just put them all here. And you could just
Mhm.
put your commercial services and just not have this extra tree.
Mhm.
Okay. It gets people right to where they want to go. Okay. So if you look at a lot of my other clients, Tidy Casas, Super Maids, it's just straight down, right? Um, Location pages. So any city that's large enough where it has a whole bunch of neighborhoods, census designated areas, it's going to be deserving of having its own location.
Okay.
So that's going to be very, very important. So if you look at like Austin Cleaning Crew, you'll see the locations here. Okay. All
Okay.
right. And then if you look at and you click on here and you go down, you'll see that there'll be a section where it shows we didn't actually do this website. We worked with the website design companies, but you'll see that there are links to, from the service page, there'll be links to the locations. There's a neighborhood section here where it actually breaks out all the neighborhoods. You don't need pages for all these. You can just create these as a list, but I will coach you on how to optimize your location pages.
That
Okay.
would work really well in Atlanta. That would work really well here because people are very like specific about the neighborhoods they live in, the cities they live in. So yeah, that would.
Exactly. So for example, like when I'm searching, let me go back to here. When I'm searching in Google, I used to be in the lakes. So when you go all the way down to the bottom, it used to say the Lakes, Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I moved to Centennial Hills. So right now it says Centennial Hills, Las Vegas, Nevada. Imagine if you have a location page where you don't have a page for Centennial Hills, but you have Centennial Hills included in the Las Vegas page. And you're expressing specifically geographic relevance that you work in that and provide services in that neighborhood. And imagine if you service a customer and they leave you a review in Centennial Hills, you don't have to be specific about their actual address, but in the reply, you say, we love servicing our clients in Centennial Hills, right?
Mm-hmm.
See how you're driving all that geographic relevance?
Yep.
Okay. And then SEO titles are broken. So going back to where's your website? I keep losing your website. Okay. So like homepage, it's very common that a website, Webflow, WordPress, a lot of these websites, Squarespace, Wix, a lot of times they'll pre-populate, maybe it'll say home, right? Well, all of these SEO titles, you need to have your brand name, and you have Happy Clean, but notice your brand name doesn't match your actual name on your Google Business Profile. Everything has to match your Google Business Profile. So
Mm-hmm.
it needs to say Happy Clean Atlanta, and it needs to be the first part of the SEO title because that's the actual brand. Your homepage is all about your brand. So you optimize for brand. So it's Happy Clean Atlanta, space hyphen space. It's good that you're using the short hyphen. That's what Google uses. If you look at the Google's SEO titles, they use those short hyphens. Okay. So that's good. And then what you do is you put in your call to action. So because you do both commercial and residential, in that case, you could do housekeeping services because housekeeping actually, a lot of people don't get this wrong. A lot of people think housekeeping house, that's only home. But if you go to Wikipedia and you look at housekeeping, because Google is no longer going after keywords. It's about entities and structure. This is the proper entity. Housekeeping. If you look at this, it's domestic housekeeping, institutional housekeeping for your hospitals and prisons, workplace and industrial housekeeping. This is your office cleaning. See how that works? Okay. So the proper topical category is housekeeping. So you could say housekeeping services. Okay. Or you could say commercial and residential cleaning. You could do that too. Okay. It's synonymous. And then you have to put your greater geographic area. So we'll work off online and figuring out what that is. It may be Atlanta metro area. So you got to look at it. Atlanta metro area, Metro Atlanta. So they call it Metro Atlanta. It
Mm-hmm.
could be this, but if this is too big, we may find something that's a bit smaller. Okay. We'll have to look at this because we want to make sure that we cover your entire region of what you clean in here. My guess is it's probably this, but it's different for every city. It could be like Minneapolis metropolitan area or something. In this case, for you, it's Metro Atlanta. This is the proper entity. So that's how your SEO title for your homepage would be. Happy Clean Atlanta. Okay. But you got to remember your name Atlanta is just the city and you clean more than Atlanta. So you're going to need that location identifier. Then you do hyphen, either residential, commercial cleaning, and then, or housekeeping services, and then hyphen Metro Atlanta. That's the proper structure for your SEO title for your homepage. And then we'll go into how to do service pages and location pages. Okay. That's a big deal. Google's putting a lot of weight on SEO titles right now. The other problem is you've got 8 H1s. Okay. And H1 is the page title. It's supposed to be what the page is about. And for your homepage, again, it's your brand name. So it should just be Happy Clean Atlanta. That should be your H1. A lot of web design themes and stuff, they slap header tags on fonts to make them bigger, like to change their sizes, make them bolder. And that's a lazy way of web design. You should only have one and only one H1 on a page, with a rare exception that you may have a mobile version and there'll be a separate H1 for the mobile version. In that case, you'd have two, but that's rare. So in this case, you'd have only one H1. Think about handing in a thesis paper and you have 8 titles on the cover. Okay? Because the bots, they're calling this page and they're looking at your headers to get an understanding of who you are, what you do, and where you do it. And you've got 8 titles on your page. And what are those H1s? Well, you've got professional house cleaning and maid service in Atlanta, Georgia. Then you have get happy feeling when we clean, or get that happy feeling when we clean. And then down here, what else you got? You got proudly serving clients across, right? Think about that, right? Cleaning services, quick links, all these are H1s. They're not deserving of an H1. It should be just your brand name on the homepage. Okay. And then all the H2s should be, you know, your main services, the areas that you cover, that kind of stuff. And then the H3s would be supporting the H2s, right? Think of it like a tree, right? Just like, because your H2 is your primary headings, and then H3s are your subheadings, H4s are your subheadings. So you need all of that in proper order. All of this is confusing the search engines. And any kind of resistance like this makes the search engines favor your competition. Because if they have trouble trying to figure out who you are, what you do, and where you do it, and you're making it cause work for them, they're not going to favor you as much. Okay. You want to kind of spoon feed it as easy as possible. Let's see. So we got the H tags are broken, SEO titles are broken. Location pages need to be built out. Move in and move out, separate that. Like we talked about, right? Just make them 2 separate pages. Those are 2 separate types of services. Deep cleaning, recurring cleaning, regular cleaning. So there may be, you know, I'll give you guidance on how to create those separate service pages. And what you're going to do is you don't need to create multiple service pages anymore. This is what so much guidance. There's even YouTube channel right now. There's even like just 3 weeks ago, there was a company, I'm not going to mention their name. I'm not here to bash anybody, but they provided guidance where you create separate service pages for each location. The identical service page, all that is bloat now. You need just one service page, and then you link from those service pages to the locations where you provide that service. And then on each location page, you link to the services that you provide at that location. Okay, that's the proper way to do it. Okay, so and then your schema is broken. So if we go into, I didn't put that in there. Let's fire up your schema. So schema is the HTML, the JSON code in the header of the page that it is in the language of the bots that tells what the page is about. And so for the home page, you need to have organization or corporation schema. You have web page schema, which would be fine. And then you have some embeds in here, which is organization, that's fine. But you have a more specific subtype that needs to be included, which is home and construction business. It's a subtype, and you don't have that in there. So organization could be anything. It could be a medical practice, right? It could be a pest control service. There's tons of things that are organizations. And I can see that you're using SEO plugins, Yoast SEO, horrible in implementing schema because it typically will implement the same exact schema on every page across the site. They apply it universally. Every page needs to have specific schema. Service pages need to have service schema. Then you have location pages that need to have local business schema. Okay. So all of the schema is broken, and you know that is a very technical part, probably the most technical part of SEO. Everybody's getting it wrong. Even Merry Maids, the big national brand, is using a deprecated schema type to this day. They're using service business, which is it's not valid anymore. So everybody's getting this wrong. So this is a huge competitive advantage if you get your schema implemented properly. Let's see what else. Offsite. Okay, so the last thing is no backlink profile. So did I have? Oh yeah. Okay, so right here, you have no trust flow. You have no, so backlinks are links that are off your page that are links on other sites that are linking to you. Okay, so obviously citation sites, directory sites, you're gonna have a few of those, and that's why you have a few here. Okay, but you need websites that are specifically related to the industry, in this case, home and construction business, linking to you to drive relevance. If you have, like in the past, any link, if it had good authority, like Martha Stewart's website, which would be like arts and crafts topic, right? In the past, all those backlinks would help. Google got smarter now. All backlinks need to be either geographically relevant or topically relevant. Geographically relevant, if you clean a injury law firm's office, their topical category will be legal slash injury law, right? That's not topically relevant to business slash construction and maintenance, right? But they're geographically local to the Atlanta area. That help those backlinks that are geographically relevant help you in the maps, help you rank higher in the map section. Topically relevant links that are business related, linking to you, are going to help you in the organic listings and get you ranked higher there. So if you look at Molly Maid, for example, their primary trust flow is coming from business slash business services. But again, business services is generic. It's not as perfect as construction and maintenance. That's the primary, the most relevant category because cleaning falls under maintenance. Okay. Business opportunities. This is because Molly Maid is a major franchise operation. There's a lot of franchise websites that talk about great franchises to start up, and they're getting linked. They're linking to Molly Maid as one of those franchise opportunities. That's why you're getting a lot of websites that are business slash opportunities. Sports football, Molly Maid at a local level will sponsor local sports teams, high school teams, jerseys, things, whatever they put money into the teams. And then those teams will have the sponsors listed on their website linking to Molly Maid, right? So that's why you might be like, why is that relevant? That's why. Okay. And then business slash real estate, because again, move in, move out cleans, post-construction cleaning, a lot of that is related to the real estate industry. Okay, so that drives relevance as well. This is not topically relevant, but these are helping with getting Molly Maid ranked locally because these are all geographically relevant links. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, so you have no backlinks. This is bad, but it's also good. It's bad because you don't have a lot of authority. The search engines are like, well, if this was an established brand, they would have a lot of other sites pointing to them and driving reference and saying, hey, this business exists and they're, in the cleaning service industry. But by not having any, you got a clean slate. The worst thing you could ever do is get caught up in those ads on Facebook, 500 backlinks for 50 bucks. That'll be
Oh, yeah.
all spam, bad, spammy links that Google knows those are like PBNs, public blog networks and stuff. Those are bad now. Google considers all that garbage. So you want to stay away from those. So because you have a clean slate, we could build proper backlinks and build a proper backlink profile. So if you look at like Bugworks Pest Control, for example, Bugworks Pest Control, we've been building backlinks for them. And look at this. Construction and maintenance, just like house cleaning, the primary category for pest control is also construction and maintenance because you're maintaining the property, right? But they also have agriculture and forestry because that's also relevant to pest control. Shopping, home and garden, right? And general business, right? This is a very healthy backlink profile that we've been building for them. And their GeoGrid reports and everything, they're showing that they've been ranking much higher, okay? So anyway, that's it. I mean, that's and I think the last thing I was looking at, your website load times are good, really good. And I do it both with the WW and without the WW because I want to see if there's any kind of landing page redirect issues, which is 90% of businesses have landing page redirect issues and you don't, which is awesome. Most businesses, what will happen is it'll redirect. So it'll go from the non-secure HTTP to the WW non-secure HTTP to the secure version of the not, like it'll hop multiple times and then you can shave off like half a second. You're perfect. And that's why your website is loading super fast. You want to stay under for the LCP, the largest contentful paint, which is usually like the hero image, like the biggest thing that shows up on your page, which is most likely the hero image, the big image on your home page right here, this front image here. How fast does that load? Google wants you 1.8 seconds or lower. And you're right under there, 1.7 and 1.8. You're right there. I don't know why Google says 1.8. That I don't know why 1.8, not 2, but for some reason Google says 1.8. So you hit it, you nailed it. So your website is loading super fast, which is really good. Okay. So anyway, we're going to talk offline more about some specifics, but I want to do this a bit more digestible as far as like a lightning round for our viewers. And what are your thoughts about what you saw?
Really, yeah, really interesting stuff. I'm glad I'm doing some of the stuff right and like I haven't messed up anything so that someone can come in here and do what needs to be done. So that's good news. But yeah, super interesting to see how much money is absolutely being left on the table.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I mean, for that area, it's competitive. I'm not going to lie, it's going to take some work, but you're going from almost no organic visibility to an opportunity to get a lot of organic traffic. And with the increasing cost of paid advertising, I mean,
Mm,
it's getting to be unsustainable. A lot of house cleaning companies are saying LSA is getting too pricey. It's not worth it. And paid ads are really hard to manage because you got to do funnels and landing pages and all that stuff. And a lot of paid ad agencies are not building ads properly and they're just collecting your money. And so a lot of people are struggling with paid ads. So I'm glad this was very informative, and I hope this is very valuable for our audience as well. Folks, we're going to be doing a lot of these lightning rounds, these more digestible videos. So please like and subscribe to our channel, and we're going to have a lot of other content coming up. How to vet properly a web design company, what questions to ask, how to protect your assets, your digital assets online. Always control your assets. Be the primary owner of your Google Business Profile, your web hosting, your CMS, everything. So we're going to have a lot of general business guidance as well. So definitely like and subscribe to the channel. For now, that's it. Just stay on the line. I'm going to stop the recording for the YouTube channel, but we're going to dive deep and answer any questions that you have.